Coming to you from that once-forgotten artery that pulses through the center of the continental United States and into the heart of the Ozarks, Grace Matthews. Looking in from the northern border, our Canadian friend, along with his countrymen feeling the effects of U.S. political issues, Connor Murphy.
Welcome to Dueling Dialogues Ep.182. I'm Connor Murphy here with Grace Matthews in Springfield, Missouri. Hi, Grace. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. How's the roof construction going?
Well, it's not going yet.
Oh, boy.
The insurance company wanted new information about the fireplace and the masonry damage.
Okay.
It's always something, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't do the roof in this situation to either do the masonry work. So I'm sitting under a barely roof right now because I moved back into my office. So, well, let's hope it doesn't fall through.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
It'll make a loud noise. Everybody will hear it. That's for sure. So, oh my goodness. Just craziness out there.
Yeah, bizarre world.
It is a very bizarre world. We're going to talk a little bit about this Jeffrey Epstein guy first.
Yeah.
What a freak, first of all.
That's what I'm hearing.
Years and years and years of freak. I mean, he started out as a university professor. Okay,
all right.
And somehow Bear Stearns found him and made him a hedge fund manager. He made boatloads of money. Now, the big interesting thing about this is he never went to college.
But he was a professor.
How is he a professor? So you got to say from day one, this guy knew how to manipulate people.
Yeah, or he was blackmailing them. One of the two.
Well, that's a point. That's a point. But because of what he's been able to do all these years, I have a feeling he is a master manipulator.
Well, he's a master something.
Yeah. And he likes young girls. And it seems like his MO is that 14 to 18-year-old.
Wow. That is some kind of sick.
Yeah, and he did. Now, he didn't mind paying them.
Well,
and at least he paid him some cash. Not much for a guy that had that much money, but so you have a prostitution component here too.
Right.
But I think that's you know the fact that he paid him is really immaterial when you think about the fact that this is a clear case of rape and pedophilia, and many times he did rape these kids. Sometimes I guess they did agree to it, but they weren't old enough to agree.
Right. Well, it's hard to wrap my head around that he's supposedly connected to all of these big people at the top, and not one of them said, hey, this is not a good idea?
Well, because they might be a little weird themselves. They might be a little guilty.
Okay.
Christine Pelosi, who is head of the DNC and also Nancy's daughter, says some beloved high-profile people will be named in this. And I'm assuming she meant by beloved Democrats. I don't think she would consider any Republican beloved. There's going to be some Republicans. I think there's going to be guys on both sides of the aisle.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't think this is...
There's going to be a lot of them.
I don't think this is something down party lines. It's just down pervert lines.
It is. And a lot of these guys are perverts. And you have to think about, they have all kinds of power because they got money. They got all kinds of people working for them.
Right.
What could they gain from a little kid? Having power over a little kid. Shit, that's not hard.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, it's not hard. Most adults could master that, except for your own kids. That's the hardest. But nevertheless, and I don't mean, there's a sexual component here, but usually the sexuality isn't the thing. It's the power.
You're right.
That's the MO.
Yep.
I mean, for the kids, of course, the sexual conduct is, it's traumatic and will scar them for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
And it breaks my heart. But you gotta wonder. Bill Clinton, Fox News, it says that Bill Clinton was on 26 flights.
Yeah.
He says, I think I was on 4. Okay? Well, then I guess the feds wanted some documents from the Clinton Foundation. And you know what? They said no. They didn't want to hand them over.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Clinton Foundation has, it ends up in a lot of dirty places.
Yeah, imagine that.
Is somebody going to go in there and raid it?
Yeah, no doubt.
And really figure this out. And then when you look at a picture of Bill with his daughter Chelsea walking down the aisle in her wedding, who's got a front row seat there?
Oh.
Jeffrey Epstein. Now, those are usually spots for your besties, your family and your besties, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, okay. See where this is going?
Oh, yeah. It's getting more interesting every second that ticks by.
Wow. And I tell you what, we talk about a small world, but could anything be smaller than the bubble?
Yeah.
I mean, in Manhattan alone, which is part of the bubble, there's like 8 million people living in a place less than the size of Springfield, Missouri.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But this bubble is even smaller. Okay, so Comey's daughter, remember Comey?
Right.
Jim Comey's daughter is one of the prosecutors here.
Okay.
And when you got a Comey involved, you're a little worried that things are going to turn out right.
Yeah.
Now, my guess is that this guy's a master manipulator. That's not my guess. I'm pretty sure of that. Who's he going to sell out? Because he's going to want a deal. Because what he's done, just a little bitty tiny bit of it, going to put him away for the rest of his life because he's mid-60s.
Yeah, he's going to sing like a bird.
Yeah, he is going to. Now, apparently, he has a big home in Palm Springs and one in New York. But him and Trump were apparently a little bit friendly in the early years. And then Trump said, well, I don't really like him that much. I haven't really talked to him for about 15 years. Now, I've seen a couple of different dates. I've seen one I don't know, source said that it was 2008 when it actually happened. There's another source that said it was like about 2004. But nevertheless, Jeffrey would spend a lot of time at Mar-a-Lago.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
He went to the spa, and he was inappropriate with some of the girls that work there.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
So the boss complained directly to Trump. And Trump went directly to Jeffrey Epstein and said, you are no longer welcome at Mar-a-Lago.
Wow. Okay, there you go.
So now, and of course, because we have to blame Trump for anything that goes wrong, Trump is being touted as the bad guy that could have busted him then.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Do you know how many people through the years could have busted this guy's ass?
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to say that Trump, barring him from Mar-a-Lago instead of calling the cops, is the clincher?
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Well, that is going to be very interesting once he starts singing. This should be good.
Yeah. And I mean, is it going to be like Weinstein? I mean, Weinstein just went through another set of lawyers.
Wow.
I mean, he just fired his lawyers, and his lawyers are like, he's impossible to work with. You can't even help the guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So I wonder if Epstein's going to be that way too, and if you can drag it out and keep switching lawyers. I mean, these guys know how to work the system. They do.
Of course they do. They wouldn't be at the top if they didn't.
And Epstein's going to have so many people he can sell out. He's going to be getting deal upon deal upon deal.
Right.
Because ultimately, we want to get those bad guys more than we want to put them away for these kids.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids aren't kids anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Tommy Robinson. Now, that's been a case that you have been watching now for what? A year or so?
Probably.
Long time.
Yeah, I would say a little over a year. Yeah.
Probably so. Well, he is calling on Trump for political asylum for him and his family because they don't feel safe.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, I don't blame him. They probably aren't safe.
Yeah, exactly. I think he would have a legitimate claim. I hear he's back in jail again.
Yeah.
Another 9.5 months or something like that.
Yeah, he really does need to get out of there. He really needs to get out of the UK.
Yeah. Yeah, getting a jail sentence for being a journalist is just strange.
Well, but it's happening more and more.
Right.
And one day we should just do an episode on that because there's lots of cases.
Yeah.
And that should not be the case, especially in the United States.
Yeah.
And if we protect CNN and their lies, how can we possibly do this to other people?
Right. Yeah, it's a tough one. That is like Tommy Robinson is like the polar opposite of Trudeau. So I can see why he asked Trump. That makes sense in my head.
Does it? Because sometimes it's just easier to ask Canada, but Trudeau may complicate that.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but a lot of times when somebody wants asylum, because you guys have less red tape,
right,
they oftentimes will ask Canada instead of us because it can happen quicker.
But we're in the Commonwealth together, so you don't really need a visa. We're part of the Commonwealth. So he's from the UK. He can come over here anytime he wants. He actually wants protection. Yeah.
Oh, good point. Good point. I knew we had you around for some reason. It's a very good point. But what about, should we know who's in our country?
Absolutely.
I mean, does it seem like that big a deal?
Well, it is nowadays, it seems.
I mean, in this day and age, it seems like, we could count pets as people.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And there's a lot of services and money allocations depend upon knowing who and what is where.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're going to take that census paper and go start picking up people. Even Trump's not going to do that.
Right.
Okay?
But you need to count people to know how to run the country.
Exactly. You need it for all sorts of services. I mean, if you can't ask them if they're a citizen, then by gosh, you shouldn't be able to ask them what kind of job they have either.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? I mean, we can start playing a very silly game with this.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Supreme Court, Justice Roberts kind of screwed this up. He assumed that they were asking to have this question on here for some sort of nefarious reason. Now, you got to remember that Chief Justice Roberts was put in place by George W. Bush to be a conservative SCOTUS.
Right.
And this is 2 times he's really screwed the Republicans. I mean, the first time was on Obamacare.
Right.
Kind of calling Obamacare, well, that might be a tax. So we can do it. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And then he goes, well, I don't really like why you're asking for this, but there could be good reasons for it. Well, why wouldn't you just assume that we're asking for a good reason?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you assume the opposite? And there's been people out there saying what you love to say about some of these guys, saying who's blackmailing him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that is ridiculous, and he is supposed to be a conservative justice.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, and Trump may be the guy in the White House that's pushing for this, but there are a lot of people. In fact, most people think it's a very fair question.
Right.
Okay? I
Yeah,
get asked
absolutely.
a lot of things, even at the doctor. I don't really want to answer. I mean, like, they want my handprint. You know, and after that one guy got
Okay.
falsely arrested at the airport for the face recognition thing, you know what I say? No,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, for
really want to
sure.
do it. And they look at me like, are you a criminal? No, I just don't want there to be some screw up.
Yeah.
I don't really trust it, and I don't think they need my handprint
Yeah. I feel the same way
to go
about
in
DNA.
some database.
I feel the same way about DNA testing. Yeah, it'd be nice to know, but then I don't want my
Yeah.
personal info, my DNA, sold to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, and but it could be like, Nancy says, you know, Trump wants this question on the census because he wants to make America white again.
Right.
Are you kidding? You know what? Trump is not a racist. Every time somebody says that, I want to say, and what did he do? I mean, but so many people have said it that it has a measure of truth to people.
Yeah.
And I just say, think back. What has he done that makes you believe he's a racist? And they go back and they go, well, what he said back there in Charlottesville. Well, you know, that was CNN misreporting.
Exactly.
And we've been over that and over that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, nothing else has worked. They just got to pull the race card again.
Yeah, and then they pull the gay card. And
Yeah.
Trump has never even been against gay marriage. Now, he did come out and say, or I believe he did, that we just can't have this transgender bathroom thing, you know, enabling pedophiles. You know, and I think that a transgender person should be able to go to the appropriate bathroom, but then what you're going to have to do is go to all these companies that have bathrooms with stalls and say, sorry, you're going to have bathrooms with doors down a long hallway, and that's going to cost you more money.
Right.
And that's what is going to end up happening, because you can't go to Target and have little girls like, you know, 3 or 4 years old, and then guys, transgender or not, going in there and peeing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, a pedophile uses everything. They use toy stores. They use the internet. They use parks. They use libraries. You think they're not going to use a bathroom?
Yeah. So
well, that's just way too easy.
So if you're transgender and thinking of changing genders out there, make sure you go to the washroom first.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, what a crazy
Barr
world.
thinks he can get this question on there through his office. I don't know how. Don't care how. Just hope it happens.
Yeah, no kidding. Makes sense.
Okay, and speaking of transgender, we jumped the gun on it just a little bit there, but sometimes we do that. We jump ahead. Students in New York City who are attending publicly funded schools and colleges can change their name and their gender whenever they want. I mean, you could start out the school year at Billy Bob and end it as Jane Ann. They don't care. Just go to the office and say, I don't want to be me.
I have a couple friends.
If you commit a crime, what are we going to do?
I have a couple jokester friends from back in school that would have totally abused that.
Oh, a lot of people will, especially criminals.
Yeah, exactly. Well, today I'm Sally.
I mean, there's not that many transgender people. I mean, sometimes kids are confused. Just let it be. Don't force it.
Right.
You know? I mean, sometimes they don't know.
Exactly.
You know? They're trying on different hats. Don't make that hat permanent.
Right.
On their head. You know? I worked with kids a lot. I had them come up and say to me, I think I'm gay. Well, you might be, but you might not be.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
See.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, that's really odd. Very odd.
Yeah. So, okay, so Trump derangement syndrome, one of your favorite psychoses.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I know those people.
there's people have decided to boycott Home Depot.
Oh, good for them.
Everybody else too, because the co-owner, the co-founder, who I don't even think owns it anymore, gave donation money to the Trump re-election campaign. I hate these boycotts. They're just stupid. First of all, like I said, I think he stepped down years ago. He may get some sort of consultant paycheck or something, but
dividends, I'm sure.
Not really. He's not really involved anymore.
Yeah, but they gotta lash out and do something. They gotta counter it.
Yeah, but one of these days, I believe in karma. If you go out there and you call on people to boycott somebody, it's going to come back to you one of these days.
Yeah, well, in some instances, it works opposite. All of a sudden, that company's doing more business.
Exactly, and that's me. I'm sitting here thinking, well, I could buy those light bulbs at Walmart, but I think I'll just go to Home Depot and buy them instead.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of like physics, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So, some of these boycotts are free advertising and bringing in more business than if you didn't boycott them.
Yeah, just ignore it.
Yeah.
And like I said, going back to the company that an old retired guy worked for, it's kind of stupid. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, it's desperate, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he shopped at
this guy
Walmart.
Is probably almost 80. I've seen him in lots of interviews. He's a very smart man, and but he is old.
Yeah, well, he shopped at Walmart 20 years ago. Let's boycott Walmart.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And speaking of ads, we all love those pharmaceutical ads that nearly have you in tears or vomiting by the time they, tell all the side effects of all these drugs. You think, geez, I'd much rather be constipated.
Yeah, exactly.
Suicidal.
Yeah.
They've just got crazy crap in this,
Yeah, I know.
So, but Trump, we really want middle government. Sometimes we have to regulate, but we don't want to regulate too much or we become socialistic. And I think he had a really good plan on these pharmaceuticals. He says, okay, if you're going to run these ads, I want you to put the prices in that ad. Now, what that would do is help prevent price gouging.
Right.
2 different tiers. Now, when I worked in retail, we called it tiers because on the north side of town, they don't make as much money in Springfield as they do on the south side. So the north side stores, things were cheaper than the south side, even though our store was the same company. Right. Walmart does that in Springfield.
Huh. I had no idea.
In fact, most stores do that. But if you really know the price, you kind of know, and you can drive across town if you want to save. Right. So, it's not such a big secret. Okay? So that's what he was doing. He was going, okay, you love to put these ads on, put the price on there. Right. And we know that big pharma is corrupt. And so this is a way of, he was just pulling back the curtain a little bit. And, not much because they really don't have to run the ads. Right. Okay. So he's saying, okay, if you want to run the ads and, on an EpiPen, then you need to say how much it is.
I get the idea.
The court says no, they ruled against him. Yeah. Huh. But you got to remember, these guys are gougers, like I have mentioned before. The hammer, $400 a month, and that's him on Medicare. He's old enough for Medicare. Right. Just to keep this drug for the stent. Now, the good news is he can do it. But when we go to the doctor says most of his patients actually can't do it. Wow. And because of the tier, there could be people paying $1,000 for this drug. Okay, I'm talking about $400. Wow. There's people paying more for it than that. And like I said, Medicare is picking up some of that. My thyroid medicine, okay, my pharmacy, $23. I learned that CVS was $13. Walmart's $4. Same
Wow.
okay? So Trump was trying to hammer through this without totally regulating these companies into not doing research or relocating to Africa or wherever they want to go. You know, he was trying to make a small move, and the court said no. You know, and they just ruled against Trump. You got to admit, the courts are trying to legislate, and that's not what they're there for.
Right. Well, here in Canada, you can ask the pharmacist how much their fees are for filling the prescription, because that's the only thing that actually makes the price deviate, is the actual fee for the pharmacist to fill that order.
Well, how much does a pharmacist usually charge to fill an order there?
It varies. Everywhere you go, it's different.
I mean, like, give me some sort of, would it be like $3 to count these pills out? Or I used to be a manager when I was in college of a pharmacy, and you know, we even back then we had that little counter.
Right.
Really, you know, you definitely want to double check the labels, and you need somebody sharp back there, but
yeah,
it's not hard.
It's called a dispensing fee. So go to your pharmacist, ask what their dispensing fee is.
Very interesting.
Yeah, Walmart is the cheapest here. I think it's around $7 or less.
Okay.
For their dispensing fee, but I've seen as high as $14.
Oh, man, I need that job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count.
Exactly. So, you know, just check with your pharmacist or your pharmacy and find out what their dispensing fees are.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to find out what the Hammer's medication cost here in Canada.
I would too. It's Brilinta. And I'll look that up in Canada.
Yeah. Because you guys send busloads of people over the border to pick up insulin. So
yeah. Oh yeah. And like I said, we have I have one of my kids has type 1 diabetes, and my son's girlfriend, she has type 1 diabetes. And right now she's trying to get one of those machines that are attached to you. And it's an incredible lot of money, and it really doesn't need to be. Right. You know, even with insurance, it's about $3,000 and about $300 a month. And I'm not sure whether that, I assume that includes the insulin, but I'm not real sure about that. Yeah. So we've been trying to find out for her a better way to do it, because she's one of those type 1s that is up and down all day long, and she's constantly having to check her blood. So,
CBD oil from cannabis actually helps regulate blood sugar.
But we got to figure out how to make sure we're getting good CBD oil down here.
Yeah.
Because it's very corrupt all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and a lot of leeches kind of have tried to get into the market.
And I will tell you, on Instagram, there is a Dr. Dani Williamson, D-A-N-I, it's a female, Williamson, in Tennessee, and she knows a lot about how to get CBD oil in Tennessee. Right. That is a grade A product.
Right, and that's going to differ state to state with you guys.
It is, because it has become a state issue, and state regulated. It's not really regulated, you know? I mean, the law is the law, but they're not regulating the product yet.
Yes, and that is the downfall of CBD oil. You never know what you're really getting. So when you get something that works good for you, stick to that brand.
Well, and if you get some, here's where it's happened to us. We got some and had some strange side effects that shouldn't have been. So I'm guessing we got some that wasn't really CBD.
Oh, okay.
It could be who knows what.
Yeah, well, there'll be other terpenes in there, like essential oils are all terpenes, right?
Yeah.
And there'll be other terpenes in there, so it could be a terpene, it could be something they added.
Right.
Because a lot of the companies are taking the oil and branding it as, say, this one's for sleep, this one's for energy, etc. So, and they're adding essential oils and terpenes to that. So,
yeah, it really would be nice if all these states are going to make it legal. Why don't we just have the feds drop that criminal aspect and then have it regulated like anything else by the FDA?
right, exactly.
You know, I mean, why not? Because now you have most of the states, to some degree,
right,
have legalized it. Now, some are medical, some are recreational, you know, whatever. And the only real numbers I can see go up, well, there's two numbers that I find interesting. We weren't really planning on talking about this, but everybody loves it when we do. Okay, the junk food sales goes up by about 1% in places that have recreational legalized. But the people under 21 doing the marijuana thing,
right,
drops by about 2 to 5%.
Yeah, actually, in Canada,
Okay, so
we're mirroring
number.
that. Yeah, we're mirroring that here in Canada too. It's very interesting.
You know, not everything is what you think. Because a lot of people were afraid junk food sales would go up by 10%, and kids would be getting it at a rate of about 25% more often.
Right.
No, just 1% more on that junk food.
No, it's definitely made it harder for the teenagers to find.
Yeah, because you're regulating it.
Exactly.
Because there's not so much need for that Mexico, you know, bringing it up from Mexico and selling it on the market, and it's laced with all sorts of other things.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Exactly. Never know what you're getting.
Yeah.
So know your source.
Exactly, and hopefully we will move towards government regulation, and you can go, okay, you buy this brand, you know you're getting something good.
Yeah.
It's got a little seal on it or something.
Yeah, usually the good ones are the ones that are constantly out of stock, though. So you got to have 2 or 3 favorite brands.
You know, that's a good point. That's a good point.
It's high demand. It's such high demand. A lot of people are using it for anxiety and sleep, anxiety.
Yeah.
All kinds of goodies in CBD oil. Same with THC oil. Offers some other things as well. Some bonuses. I like some of those bonuses.
Sure.
Yeah, but.
Okay. So, and speaking of marijuana, we could talk a little bit about Obama. We know he likes it. He loves it. I mean, that's one reason why he probably decided to stay in the city limits of D.C. and buy a home after he left office, because, you know, D.C., marijuana is legal, recreationally legal, and has been probably about longer than any place.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he can smoke all the little doobs he wants there. But apparently his new little dude is Kamala Harris. That's his girl.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's who him and Michelle want.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of Biden.
Right.
I mean, well, you know, Biden just doesn't have staying power. And
he's slipping back.
The person that would know that best is Barack Obama.
Right.
You know, I mean, so let's give Barack a little credit. He would know that this guy he's age is getting to him, and he's got a lot of baggage.
Yeah, Creepy Joe.
The Ukraine. I don't know. They were coming up with something else the other day that looked like his brother might have taken some money.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so from an India deal. India. So now we're adding India. So he was out there making deals, not for the US of A, but for his family.
Yeah, sounds like it. Wow.
So anyway, Kamala, I do believe Kamala will be the nominee
Yes, she's a lot less creepy.
Yeah, and she's got some charisma. I don't agree with her. I don't know who her VP will be. Maybe Michelle Obama.
Huh.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. It's not going to be Beto now. Beto needs to drop off the ticket. I mean, he's really been a disappointment for the Democrats because I think they had high hopes for him.
Yeah.
And he's really blown a gasket. Ugh.
Yeah. No surprises there for me.
It's not for you because you said right out of the bat he does not have staying power.
No, I could see through the smoke. I could see through the smoke.
Yeah. Okay. So, and speaking of smoke, I mean, Hannity joked the other night that he wanted Bill O'Reilly to return to cable. He didn't necessarily say Fox, because if Bill returned, he would go back to being number one and Hannity could be number two. And he said, it is just not safe or fun to be number one.
He's tired of death threats from Democrats. Oh, man.
And boycott threats.
Yeah, exactly.
He said being number two was a breeze.
Oh, there you go.
I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny because as many bad things as they've said about Bill O'Reilly, ultimately, people would still watch him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's still got fans out there.
Yeah, and interesting. But I still think somebody will put him back on the air.
Okay.
I know Newsmax has him on the air on Saturday nights a little bit on a little taped thing, but I suspect he'll get back out there. Okay, jobs. We got about 300,000 people have re-entered the job force.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and that was in a month.
Huh.
Okay, and it really raised the job figures. Okay, now remember in 2008, you had a lot of people that they were out looking.
Right.
And so they quit looking, and they left the job force. So the numbers did not reflect those people.
Right.
And
exactly.
unemployment anymore. If you're not looking, you get dropped off. Okay?
Yeah, we're not so lucky here in Canada. If there's news about the workforce, it's news about them getting laid off.
Really? Are you guys going into recession?
Well, the government gave Bombardier, a very big handout, corporate handout, and now they're shutting down a plant in Ontario and moving it to California, apparently. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unusual. Okay.
Yeah, after getting a big handout.
Things up there to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of backwards, but obviously California offered them a very good deal.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Sad, but it does have repercussions. And one of the repercussions may be that we were planning on the Fed lowering interest rates, a quarter, a half, something.
Right.
Okay, and that would promote big ticket sales. But because the jobs look so good, everybody's worried that the Fed might not lower. I say go ahead and lower. Let's have it all.
Right.
Okay? Let's pretend we live in utopia.
Yeah.
For at least 5 minutes.
It'll get some stimulation. Market stimulation.
Yeah, we need the stimulation. We need those big ticket sales because they're a little stagnant right now because of the bickering.
Exactly.
It scares people when the Republicans and the Democrats are, talking impeachment and all these crazy things, and they're not passing important bills that should be like no-brainers.
Right.
It worries people, and they quit buying houses, cars, washing machines, giant TVs, or it's just sluggish. It's not that they've quit, it's just a little sluggish. And in this economy, it should not be sluggish. So right now, it is a perception thing.
Right.
Not an actual problem, but a problem with what people are perceiving.
You got that right.
So anyway, the other thing I want to say before we go is, gosh, we have gotten a lot of new listeners through Spreaker and iHeartRadio from Canada.
Oh, really?
We've had a big influx from Canada and California.
Cool.
Now,
Wow.
I want to thank and welcome everybody that has joined us.
Shout
We have
out.
an awful lot of listeners from Springfield, especially through those two venues. They really like to listen on iHeart and Spreaker. And so I want to, we talk about immigration and coming through the back door, and sometimes it may sound like we don't like people coming into our country.
Right.
And for one, I really, really do. I really want them to come through the front door, though.
Yeah.
And, one way you can help, sort of open that front door is think about taking a foreign exchange student.
Oh, okay.
That way they can come and try before they buy.
Right.
Some of them don't want to live here, but a great many of them are considering it in their future. And so bringing the world into your family is just a really great idea. Think about hosting a foreign exchange student. I have a great post on Shenanigan Free Press. A lady I have met through the EF exchange program, Melissa Rogels. All her information is on there. We will hopefully be interviewing her next week.
Cool.
But she can help you find a student. I have seen some profiles. There are some really great kids.
Right on.
Great kids. I don't know whether we've talked about it before. My son speaks Japanese and a little Korean. And so we've been open to wanting to help kids from Asia. And this year, it's just not in the cards because we have so many things going on.
You don't have a roof over your head yet.
Yeah, we don't really have a roof over our head, And my son is in his last year of undergraduate work, so he it's just not a great time. And it's sad because they have the best Asian students ever. It's breaking my heart. But think about that. And Melissa is absolutely fabulous. She is a go-getter. And hopefully we can have her on next week and she can tell us some more. But go to shenaniganfreepress.com and take a look at it. And there's a great video on there. So.
I agree.
Okay, and we don't always agree, but life's a journey and we're all in this together. Godspeed, Connor. Godspeed to all of our listeners out there. Thanks, and have a great summer weekend.
Thanks, Grace, and Godspeed, everyone.